Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right guys, I'm back, and a little worse for the wear, but I'm back nonetheless. And let's get over here off this infinity screen and get into, we're going to be getting into the news. I apologize beforehand because I have been very, very sick. I hadn't been feeling well for about a week actually, and really just trying to get myself motivated to do things, but just generally not feeling well. Bit into an almond. I grabbed some almonds in the middle of the night 2 nights ago, broke my tooth, but under that tooth was all abscessed. So I'm on antibiotics to get rid of that so that they can, tend to that tooth. So anyway, I'm running a fever and not feeling great, but I didn't want to miss the show. I feel like I've missed too many. So anyway, I'm here and I want to get the news to you because it's important. All right. So if I'm a little off tonight, you'll know why. Let's hit on the first item here, and from the Federalist, and it says, excuse me for a moment. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm just going to adjust this mic a little bit. There, that was probably loud, and I apologize. Anyway, leaked 2016 call reveals Joe Biden risked national security to sabotage Trump. Joe Biden exercised incredibly poor judgment, well, when doesn't he, placing a highly classified counterintelligence operation at risk and undermined the incoming administration. A recently leaked phone call between then Vice President Joe Biden and Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko directly after the 2016 presidential election showed Biden sought to sabotage the incoming Trump administration before Donald Trump even took office. And much worse. During the course of the call, Biden badmouthed the incoming administration, saying the truth of the matter is that the incoming administration doesn't know a great deal about Ukraine, and that they were unprepared for the transition. This in itself is inappropriate, but it was meant to set the stage for Biden's next statement and future plans. Biden then told Poroshenko, "I don't plan on going away. As a private citizen, I plan on staying deeply engaged in the endeavor that you have begun and we have begun." In a matter of moments, Biden undermined the incoming administration, branded them as not knowing anything about Ukraine, and attempted to set up a foreign policy back channel for himself after he left office as a private citizen, which could violate the Logan Act. Absolutely. So, let's come down here. The Logan Act bars private citizens from engaging in U.S. foreign policy, although its constitutionality remains questionable and no person has ever been convicted of violating it since it was signed into law in 1799. Ironically, this is the same act that at Joe Biden's suggestion, the FBI accused National Security Advisor Michael Flynn of violating as a result of a discussion Flynn had with the Russian ambassador to the United States around nearly the same time as Biden's call with Poroshenko. To fortify his position and to make Poroshenko more confident that he could continue to deal with Biden once he left office, in the call, Biden also intimated that there is a problem with the incoming administration. The reason I bothered to tell you this is that I've been somewhat limited on what I am able to tell their team about Ukraine. Well, of course he's limited on what he can tell their administration about Ukraine. He can't tell about all his crooked dealings there. Now, can he? While Biden blamed this on a late start to the transition process, we now know he said this at the same time the FBI and other U.S. intelligence agencies were conducting a counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign's contacts with Russia, known as Crossfire Hurricane, of which Ukraine was a part. Since it was leaked by a Ukrainian member of parliament, the phone call was obviously recorded by the Ukrainians and almost certainly by Russian intelligence services. Biden would have been aware of this from from his time on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and as vice president. So Biden, the sitting president of the United States, told a foreign leader whose country was part of a highly classified FBI counterintelligence investigation that there were things he couldn't share about his country with the incoming administration and that they weren't cleared. We now know from subsequent investigations that the Trump administration did not, in fact, collude with Russia, but at the time, Biden didn't, and he was privy to the fact that the FBI had opened the investigation. Well, that right there, I don't believe that Biden didn't know that there was no collusion with the Russians. Oh, I think he fully knew. Anyway. If Russian intelligence had been penetrated, the incoming Trump administration if Russian intelligence had actually penetrated the incoming Trump administration, Biden's comments would have certainly tipped them off that something was amiss, placing our national security in grave danger. Additionally, it is mind-boggling that the vice president felt comfortable telling a foreign leader that there were things he was unable to tell the incoming administration at the time the Department of Justice and the FBI failed to notify President-elect Trump of potential counterintelligence risks that ended up not being true, posed by members of his campaign team who might join his administration in official capacities. In the end, it is clear that Biden exercised incredibly poor judgment, placing a highly classified counterintelligence operation at risk, undermined the incoming administration, and attempted to set up a foreign policy back channel for himself so he could remain involved in U.S.-Ukrainian policy, even though he was not sanctioned to do so by law. Yeah, all of this took place while his son Hunter was on the payroll of a Ukrainian energy firm for which he admitted he had no related experience. Yes, and it just gets deeper and deeper. I don't know, honestly, how anybody could vote for Biden, but let me tell you, Trump derangement syndrome must be real, because there are people that generally have good judgment that when it comes to this, no, they're going to vote for Biden because they hate Trump so much. Oh my gosh. You know, I wish we could separate these people and put them in, like, maybe just all in one state, one big state. Let's put them all there and make Joe Biden their president and just see how it goes. It would be a wonderful experiment, and I know it's not possible. It's not logistically possible, but I wonder what those people would say after a year under Biden. Anyway, let's come down here. I thought this was good. It's been said that Trump is the great divider. More than 70 of the Democrats didn't show up for his inauguration. He hadn't even been president yet, and 70 plus Democrats boycotted the event. Is that when Trump divided America? 19 minutes after Trump was inaugurated, the Washington Post declared the impeachment campaign had started. Was that when Trump divided America? Nancy Pelosi ripped up Trump's State of the Union speech right in front of the world, showing complete disrespect for the President of the United States. Is that when Trump divided America? America has had to endure 3 years and over $40 million spent on trying to prove that Trump only won because of a Trump collusion and not because the American voted him in. And then 17 Democrats did everything in their power to prove that there was a Russian collusion and came up with zero. $40 million. Actually, it's got to be more than that now. So, I don't know, was that when Trump divided America? Think for yourselves. Who is really dividing America? I think those of us that can see clearly and do not have Trump derangement syndrome can clearly see what has happened and what's continued to happen. And I really, you know what? It's not that I bow and worship at the feet of Trump, not at all. But, you know, I can look at him objectively, but I just can't look at everything that's happened to him objectively because it's not objective at all. All right, let's go on now. Now, this came from James Woods, and I think this is very interesting because CNN, now I know it shouldn't surprise us because it's, well, CNN. Has a special. It's called a CNN original series, First Ladies. Now, guess which First Lady, present First Lady, isn't included? Yeah. Can you believe that? And then James Wood says, and thanks for your stunning reportage of our FLOTUS, Melania Trump. She is stricken with a deadly virus and you have ignored her existence for all intents and purposes. Shame on you. I would agree. I would agree. All right. And this is just about the weirdest thing. And the strangest thing is that I felt, I don't know. I'm not going to say that because I don't know. But let's look at this picture. Here's Joe Biden. Now, have you seen those videos? And if not, you can search for it on YouTube and find it, where they have one of these latex masks that are so good. And the guy, I mean, you just wouldn't even know, and then he rips it off and it's a totally different person underneath. But it's amazing how accurate these latex masks can be. So is Joe Biden wearing that here? I don't know, but it sure looks like it. What the heck is that? He's white up here, brown down here. I don't know. It's a little odd if you ask me. So I don't know what they're trying to pull. And to tell you the truth, nowadays it is so easy to perpetrate a ruse because you've got fake media, you've got props such as this, you've got deep fake videos, which yes, you can fake a lot of stuff, but I don't know. I feel like we are continually being fooled and lied to. All right. This from Heather. Not our Heather. This is another Heather. President Trump with coronavirus riding in a car with Secret Service, who he is around all the time to wave at supporters. Media outrage. New York hospitals sending coronavirus patients to nursing homes where thousands died. Media crickets. And isn't that the truth? Now, they were so upset with Trump because he came out and greeted everyone and they said, oh, he put everyone at risk. And now there was one guy that said, oh, all these people need to be tested now. He was in a hermetically sealed car. He was wearing a mask inside the car. The people with him had hazmat suits on. So again, tell me how he endangered everyone by going out and showing love and support to the people that actually care about him, unlike everyone in the mainstream media. I'm sorry, tell me again how that was wrong and selfish. And it was either Joy Behar, I think it was Joy Behar that said, oh, that move of coming out to greet people was just like a dictator. What is wrong with these people? Honestly. All right. So let's come down here and continue on, because we do have some interesting things. Now, I love this. And I'm not going to, well, maybe I will. It's
buying us pizzas all freaking day. Trump? That is from Trump. He is one.
So this guy is saying, wow, President Trump has been buying his supporters pizza every 45 minutes. How generous. You think if that was Joe Biden in there or Pelosi, they'd send pizzas out to people, or they'd greet people? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, now let's listen to this. How excited these people are.
Over 250 pizzas that keep coming
250 pizzas
every
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45. Every 45 minutes. Every 45 minutes to a half hour, Donald Trump is dropping off hot pizza. And you know it's from Trump because this shit isn't gluten-free, all right? There's meat on there. Trump's an alpha. That's why there's so much of it. And no, CNN, we're not getting paid.
When did the pizza start coming?
Pizza started coming all day. I got here 3-4 hours ago. All the boxes that were sitting there, some of them have been taken out. Those are older boxes. Those are recent boxes.
Not only that, Trump also sent people out to the crowd with little gifts. I saw that they were handing out little packages of playing cards with the presidential seal on it and things like that. So Trump has been looking after these people that have been pretty much camping there and wishing him well and so forth. And I think that this is wonderful. It shows that America cares. It's unfortunate that it drives the media crazy, but actually I kind of like that because, you know, well, get ready for the liberal tears. Seriously. Yeah, because when Trump wins the second term, you'll see everybody screaming in the streets. So buy some earplugs or something because, you know, it's going to get loud. All right, let's go back here. Republicans decry Nancy Pelosi for withholding coronavirus aid for political expediency. Well, you know, everything Nancy Pelosi does is for Nancy Pelosi, right? Yeah. Republican congressional candidates and Representative Ted Budd told Breitbart News Saturday that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi would rather see the demise of the country than work with President Donald Trump on a bipartisan coronavirus aid package. Republican candidates Yvette Harrell, Derek Van Orden, Jim Bognett, and Budd spoke to Breitbart News Saturday host Matthew Boyle as Pelosi continues to withhold coronavirus aid to small businesses and workers suffering from the effects of the pandemic. Well, you know, she lives in her big multi-million-dollar mansion and she has staff and servants and whatever. And so, yeah, she doesn't care about you or whether you have food to put on the table. She doesn't. It's quite evident. Nancy Pelosi is all about Nancy Pelosi. So Harrell, who hopes to unseat Representative, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, in New Mexico's 2nd Congressional District, decried Pelosi's political brinkmanship during the coronavirus negotiations. Nancy Pelosi just pushes it to the very edge every single time, and sadly, she would rather see the demise of our nation than stand with our president, she said. Harrell said that Taurus Small continues to rally with Pelosi against all of Trump's administrative policies, against bills that would help the American people, and we just can't have that. She added that the New Mexico Democrat comes to the district and acts like she's a conservative Democrat working hard for the people of New Mexico, but they are wising up to the fact that actions speak louder than words. A recent poll found that Harrell leads Taurus Small by, okay, we don't care about that. But also said Pelosi is using the working men and women, or at least those who want to be working men and women, as a political football for her own expediency. It's shameful what she's done. Look, we've waited around and we voted on silly things like QAnon, which did not denounce the Black Lives Matter and Antifa, these destructive organizations, when we could actually be providing help to those who need it, including the airlines. And the thing is with Nancy Pelosi, she doesn't want to give Trump anything that would give him favor in anyone's eyes before the election. That is what this is about. It's what it's all about. The Democrats would rather see you starve than see President Trump ahead in any way, shape, or form. And we all know that. But also slammed Pelosi for including leftist carve-outs in her coronavirus bill, such as stimulus payments for illegal immigrants. Yeah, with everything that our country is facing right now, do you really think that we should be worried about stimulus payments for illegal immigrants? These aren't legal immigrants, they're illegal immigrants. Kind of like somebody, you know, breaking in your house in the middle of the night, and you're supposed to get up and make them a meal and send them on their way with money and whatever. Like, yeah, Anyway, he said, like giving money to illegals, why would you ever want to put something like that in a coronavirus bill? Look, we want to help American people, but she makes it so toxic that you can't help regular working men and women on the street. She doesn't want a bill. She believes that something is not better than nothing, and she would rather play hardball with the election than help the average man or woman on the street. Well, we know that. We know that she's diabolically evil. She is, and I don't say that about many people, but she would qualify. Van Orden, who hopes to defeat Representative Ron Kind in Wisconsin's 3rd District, slammed Kind for voting twice to give stimulus payments to illegal immigrants. Van Orden also said the Wisconsin 3rd District serves as a pivotal district for control of the House and the 2020 presidential election. I've got cat hair in my mouth. Either that or my teeth are growing fuzz, which if we win the 3rd district of the state of Wisconsin, Donald Trump wins Wisconsin and Trump wins election. If we win the 3rd district, Ron Kind is kicked out of his seat, which is going to happen, Van Orden said. Okay, I think we've read enough of this. I really do. So let's go on, because we've got more to get to. All right, now let's look at this, because we can, and we will. Joe Biden ad features rapper who called Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan his mentor. Well, he's just full of good judgment, isn't he? Yeah. Well, that's what America will look like if, The Biden campaign has released an ad narrated by a rapper with close ties to the Nation of Islam leader, Louis Farrakhan. Rapper Jeezy has called Farrakhan his mentor and a great guy, despite the Nation of Islam leader's numerous anti-Semitic comments. The Biden campaign is airing Jeezy's ad as part of an initiative to boost black voter turnout. In August, the Democratic National Committee featured another rapper with ties to Farrakhan at its convention. These people are shameless. Joe Biden's presidential campaign released an ad this week narrated by a popular rapper who's been called the Nation of Islam leader Lou Farrakhan his mentor and a great guy. The ad narrated by Jeezy aims to boost black voter turnout as part of its campaign's Shop Talk series. If you're out there marching in the streets, exercising your rights, you need to exercise your right to vote too, Jeezy says in the ad, which is posted to the Biden campaign's YouTube channel. It's the only way to make sure that we get the change we're looking for. And I do mean we. Us. Better jobs, education, healthcare, and justice, criminal justice reform. Isn't that what Obama campaigned on? Like change? Hope and change? Yeah. So you think Biden is going to bring us the change we need? He's been in politics for 47 years. I think if he was going to do something that would bring positive change to America, I think he would have already done it. Don't you? Jeezy, born Jay Jenkins, directs listeners to the voter registration website, I Will Vote. According to the Detroit Metro Times, the campaign began running the ad on radio stations in Michigan on Thursday. Jeezy, who began his career in Atlanta, has been open about his close relationship with Farrakhan. Numerous rappers and Democratic politicians have embraced the Nation of Islam leader despite his many anti-Semitic and anti-white statements over the years. Farrakhan has blamed Jewish people for September 11th, 2001 attacks, the Holocaust, and referred to them as satanic. He also praised Adolf Hitler as a very great man. As a Nation of Islam event in February 2018, Farrakhan asserted that Jews were responsible for all this filth and degenerate behavior that Hollywood is putting out, turning men into women and women into men. White folks are going down, he also said, according to CNN, and Satan is going down, and Farrakhan, by God's grace, has pulled the cover off that satanic Jew, and I'm here to say, your time is up, your world is through. Yeah, this is a quote from him. Great guy, great guy. And so, do you happen to notice that what the left is accusing Trump of, racism, all that, they're actually guilty of? That's an old trick. You blame your enemy for what you yourself are doing. Jeezy himself has not made anti-Semitic statements, but he has heaped praise on Farrakhan in interviews and met with him on multiple occasions. Meeting of the minds with my mentor, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Meeting of the minds? Okay. Well, I guess it could be a meeting of the minds, no matter how small. Like little walnuts. He called Farrakhan a great guy in an interview in October 2015 with Mark Lamont Hill, a former CNN contributor. Who are your mentors? Hill asked Jeezy. I like people with their own state of mind. I like Farrakhan, he said. The rapper described a conversation he had with Farrakhan a week before his arrest on gun charges in 2014. I just want you to know the enemy's watching you, Jeezy recalled Farrakhan saying. Farrakhan has cited an unspecified enemy in the past when criticizing the U.S. government and the entertainment industry in Hollywood. In one video posted on Facebook, Farrakhan blamed the enemy for promoting interracial marriage, which he said mongrelized the black race. Okay. Jeezy was arrested in August 2014 on a weapons charge in connection with a murder following a concert for a fellow rapper, Wiz Khalifa. The charges were dropped in December 2014 due to lack of evidence. In another interview in October 2015, Jeezy said that Farrakhan had warned him that the so-called enemy would eventually go after him because of a shift in the message in his music. Jeezy was an early pioneer of trap music, a genre of rap that originated in the South and glorifies drug dealing. His music has taken a more political tone in recent years, along with many other artists in the industry. Jeezy compared himself to Michael Jackson in the interview, saying that the pop star framed as a pedophile after his music ventured into a more activist direction. They don't want you to get too powerful. Look at what they did to Michael Jackson, he said in an interview, which could be true. Jeezy asserted that Jackson came under investigation for molesting children because his music took on a more politically aggressive tone. They tried to make the man a pedophile. They did that to him, Jeezy said of Jackson, who settled a lawsuit in the 1990s with the family of a boy who claimed he was molested by the pop star. Jeezy is not the first rapper with ties to Farrakhan who Democrats have touted during the 2020 campaign. Common, a Chicago-based rapper, appears at the Democratic National Committee's convention in August. The Biden campaign did not respond to a request for comment. Well, why would they? I mean, they'd have to wake Joe up. All right. Let's go on now, because there's plenty more. Now, this says, I will be leaving the great Walter Reed Medical Center today at 6:30 p.m. That was tonight. Feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed under the Trump administration some really great drugs and knowledge. I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Woohoo! Now, the media is going crazy over that statement. They really are. And I'm not going to read them to you because it upsets you guys and it upsets me. Once in a while, I may read you a few comments, but the hatred is off the charts. Off the charts. All right. And Donald Trump here says, it is reported that the media is upset because I got into a secure vehicle to say thank you to the many fans and supporters who were standing outside of the hospital for many hours and even days to pay their respect to the president, to their president. If I didn't do it, media would say rude. Well, he's got a point, doesn't he? Doesn't matter what he does. The media is going to knock it. And the media is going to find something hugely wrong with it, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if he got out of a boat and he walked on water, they'd say, you know what the headlines would be? Trump can't swim. It's true. All right. Now, let's look at this, as frightening as it may be. Pelosi raises possibility of becoming acting president in chaotic election outcome. I think my blood just ran cold. Really. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and I could use some cold blood because I've got a fever. Speaker Nancy Pelosi raised the possibility that she might become acting president if neither Trump President Trump nor Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, wins enough electoral votes to declare victory in the election on or after November 3rd. Pelosi, a California Democrat, told reporters Thursday that she is preparing House Democrats for a potential role in determining the winner with a vote by each state delegation. Oh, Lord help us. But if a majority still does not emerge for either Trump or Biden, Pelosi said, then it goes into another range where the speaker becomes the president. It's complicated after that. Well, of course it would be complicated after she became president. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even imagine that. Like, I cannot imagine that. She is the most corrupt, evil woman. She and Hillary Clinton, they must have the same black heart. Anyway, it is rare for the House to play a role in determining the outcome of a presidential election, and it hasn't happened in 150 years. But Pelosi is girding party lawmakers to play a role in the election. But Pelosi is girding party lawmakers to play a role if the election is so close that neither Trump nor Biden is the electoral winner. In such a scenario, each House state delegation would cast one vote for president, depending on the majority party in each delegation. Pelosi said she is aiming for Democrats to be able to cast at least 26 votes, a bare majority, which would hand the White House to Biden. The Senate, meanwhile, would be empowered with voting to determine the vice president. But if the House delegation results in a 25-25 tie and the Senate can't agree on a vice presidential winner, Pelosi would become acting president according to the 1947 Presidential Succession Act. Republicans currently have the advantage in state delegations, and last month, Pelosi wrote to Democrats and urged the party to focus on flipping seats with November 3rd wins in Alaska and Montana, which now have GOP majorities. Additionally, Pennsylvania's delegation is split 9-9, so picking up a seat in November could give the Democrats an edge. The Constitution requires Congress to certify the election on January 6th next year, which is a few days after the new Congress is seated. And, I really believe, unless Trump has an October surprise to end all October surprises, which somehow I think he does, then we're going to be in trouble, because we know that the mainstream media has been informed not to announce a winner. So even if Trump is clearly the winner, they're not going to say so. So I don't know. We're in a very tenuous time. We've got 30 days, less than 30 days to the election, I think. So I don't know. But let's move on. All right, let's look at this. Can't remember what this is, but I'm sure it's important. Yeah. How interesting is this? And I am 100% sure that politics is involved in this. Because now the CDC, which never seems to get their story straight, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Everything. The whole 9 yards. It's been a complete disaster as far as the CDC goes. And I hope that there is some serious restructuring after this. Anyway, breaking. CDC now says coronavirus can spread through airborne transmission to people who are further than 6 feet away. Oh. Some infections can spread by exposure to virus in small droplets and particles that can linger in the air for minutes to hours. These viruses may be able to infect people who are further than 6 feet away from the person who is infected or after that person has left the space. Be afraid, everyone. Be really afraid. All right. This kind of spread is referred to as airborne transmission. No, really? And is an important way that infections like tuberculosis, measles, and chickenpox are spread. There's evidence that under certain conditions, people with COVID-19 seem to have infected others who were more than 6 feet away. These transmissions occurred within enclosed spaces that had adequate ventilation. So anyway, I really don't care what the CDC says. I only bring this to your attention because I find it very interesting, and I find the timing very interesting, don't you? So, I don't know, but whatever the CDC has to say, sorry, there was a little gnat or something crawling down my screen, which you probably can't see on your end. But anyway, yeah, it's despicable. They've politicized this whole thing. And when Trump was leaving, did you hear what the reporters asked him when he was leaving, Walter Reed? And he also tapped out a Morse code message as he was leaving. Yes, he did. And but anyway, they were asking him, how many of your team are infected? And he didn't answer. He just goes, thank you very much. And then somebody yells after him, Mr. President, are you a super spreader? Like, how inappropriate. But our media, that's what it is. I would love to see us go back to a time where we respected the office. We may not respect the man. We may not agree with all his policies, but we respect the office at least. I mean, I would never have said the things that people are saying about Trump, about Obama, and I thought he was a horrendous president. All right, let's look at this. Now, this is very interesting and encouraging. This is Chuck Grassley, and you know, he's had many tweets in the past about corn. Well, here's another one, and we know corn, Comey. Remember, he was, they wrote his name Corny, so that if somebody asked for a Freedom of Information request, they wouldn't be able to find the name Comey. Remember that? Yeah. And all of Comey out in the cornfields? Yeah, I'm sure you guys remember that. Well, the corn is ready for harvest, and we're about a third done at the Grassley farm. Let's take a look. Go to his Instagram page, and there it is. There's the corn. Yep. And somebody said, oh, the timing. Couldn't be any better. And someone else said, harvest them all. Yeah, I like that too. So anyway, I wanted to show you that because I liked it. And somebody put under here, CJ Truth said, comms, and more comms. And also, this is Big League. Patriot of Trump. Yes, harvest time, at last, finally. Everybody likes harvest time, I guess. So, dear Honorable Grassley, what can Patriots do to help finish this harvest? We'll follow your Twitter and await instruction. Thank you for all you have done for this harvest to date. Oh, I love it. I love it, and you can't make me not love it. All right, let's go back now. And this says it's important, so I know it is. All right, yes. They're addressing this to Tucker, but I noticed this tonight. Tucker, right before debate, man wipes Trump's podium where he puts his hands on wire connected to his mic. Coronavirus on rag. Who is this man? Now, hang on here. Let me make this bigger for you, tiny phone people, because I can't forget about you. But we're gonna see this man.
There he is.
Go up, and they're gonna wipe down where President Trump will put his hands and everything.
Wiping the podium. You know how Trump puts his hands on the sides.
Yeah, but they don't do it to Biden's.
Up to the microphone. Very strange. We need to check out who this guy is. He had on a suit.
So, who was that guy, and why did he only wipe down President Trump's podium? I'd like to know. I really would like to know. I'm sure you would too. They probably wiped down the seats and everything where the Republicans were going to be sitting, because it's only the Republicans that have it, no Democrats. Yeah, all the Republicans seem to have come down with it. Even the press secretary. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. No, they'll blame that on Trump too. Well, they already have, actually. Okay, now, this is what I'm talking about. When Trump was coming down the stairs out of Walter Reed Medical, he was tapping on that. And I thought it was odd at the time but I never really thought about it being Morse code. And then I read something by this person, Reread Q. Yeah, so here it goes. So I'm no Morse code decoder. Please check my work. 3 fist pumps, and he does. He comes out and he goes. Then he does 1 long tap, then 3 short taps, short tap, longer tap, tap, tap on thigh, and then short tap, long tap on bottom rail, and then tap, tap, tap on bottom rail. Well, what does that spell in Morse code? You might ask, because I did. Well, in case you're wondering, it spells Obama's. Obama's. Why was he doing that on the way out of Walter Reed Medical Center? He was sending a message, obviously a clear message to his supporters, many of whom probably didn't pick up on it, but thankfully this person did, and put it on the YouTube. I saw it. I'm sure lots of people have seen this, and so I just think it's very interesting indeed. Now, some of this I'm going to skip. Let me check on my time here. 41. All right. Well, I'm still doing pretty good with time, but let's go back here. And I'm sorry, I found this today, or actually I found it yesterday, and it made me laugh so hard. I mean, I laughed out loud, even though I was in pain and sick. I laughed so hard. So anyway, see this picture of the Pope with his, whatever it says, when threatened, the Pope can spray holy venom up to 25 feet. I don't know why, it's hysterical. All right, maybe it was just me. All righty. And let me see. Yeah, let's look at this. This is important, kind of. Wow. All right. On October 3rd, the team of doctors treating President Trump for COVID said they were extremely happy with the progress he was making in his recovery. Thursday, President Trump, had a mild cough, nasal congestion, and fatigue, all of which are resolving and improving, Dr. Conley told the media. And White House physician gives an update on President Trump's condition. The team and I are extremely happy with the progress the president has made. After pushing their House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, taking over for President Trump and Vice President Pence, the left is now freaking out over President Trump's swift recovery from COVID. Watch far-left CNN medical expert Sanjay Gupta explain without any evidence that President Trump's doctors are hiding things and purposely misleading the American people about his recovery. Well, that's not what I wanted to show you, but with every bit of good news about Trump's recovery, the left becomes more and more unhinged. Yesterday, following a press conference with the White House doctors who reported an improvement of President Trump's condition, a reporter was caught on a hot mic laughing and saying, that wasn't as fun as yesterday. Now, yesterday, they were reporting that the president was ill with COVID, that he was being treated, whatever. So maybe they were hoping that he would not recover. I don't know. But he laughs. This reporter laughs on mic and says that wasn't as fun as yesterday. Yeah. So pretty safe to say that reporter wasn't happy with hearing that President Trump was doing well. And that is sickening, and it's not even human. What kind of a person? You know what? I don't like the Obamas. I don't like them at all. However, I wish them no harm. I wish justice for them, but I don't wish them any harm. And if I knew one of them was sick, if I felt like I didn't want to say anything about it, I just wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't be, oh, I hope they die. I don't get that kind of hatred. I don't, and I don't want to get it. Really, I don't. So let me see. Yes, and look at this. Poor Melania. Melania breaks her silence amid COVID infection. Leftists immediately attack. Melania breaks her silence. Okay, let me see here. So, let's listen to this. Oh, you know what? No, let's not. It's a beautiful example of how ugly the left can be. First Lady Melania Trump, who tested positive for COVID-19 last week, along with her husband, the president, broke her silence Monday morning with a Twitter post to reassure the American public that she's been fine at home at the White House and offering her continued prayers for victims of the coronavirus and their families. And so she said, my family is grateful for all the prayers and support. I am feeling good and will continue to rest at home. Thank you to medical staff and caretakers everywhere, and my continued prayers for those who are ill or have family member impacted by the virus. So it's a powerful message expressed in a simple language by a woman whose condition has been largely shrouded in silence since the headline-making news broke that the first couple had been infected by a potentially deadly disease. Naturally, she was showered with spite. And she's, this is from Black Lives Matter. I don't really care. Do you? Actually, yes, I do care. And I think that the majority of Americans care. Much of the malicious snark centered on the revelations of a gold-digging former friend who last week leaked secret recorded conversations she had with the First Lady, in which Melania, believing she was talking to a woman she could trust, vented her frustration with parts of life in the White House and her treatment by the mainstream media. I am working my ass off on the Christmas stuff that, you know, who gives a F about the Christmas stuff and decorations, but I need to do it, right? Trump told a faithless woman named Stephanie Winston Wolkoff in recordings played by CNN Anderson Cooper for the amusement of liberals worldwide. Oh, and I'm sure it did amuse them. Okay, and then I do it and I say that I'm working on Christmas and planning for the Christmas, and they say, oh, what about the children that they separated? Give me a effing break. Where they were saying anything when were they saying anything when Obama did that? No, they weren't. First of all, the use of the F word aside in what was believed to be a private conversation, it's a safe bet that virtually every parent, if not every adult in the Western world, has at some time expressed frustration about the hustle and bustle of Christmas. Yes, it's a holy time. Yes, it's the annual observation of what, by far, is the most important awe-inspiring event in human history, but it can be stressful for anyone with responsibilities, and being the First Lady of the United States is no small responsibility. Second, our recordings made secretly by a person whose poisonous idea of friendship sounds like it came from the scorpion and the frog, really the material liberals want to use to attack a woman recovering from a possible serious illness? Well, they have no shame. So, see, this person responded to her tweet by saying, I was sad to hear how much you hate the kids and Christmas. I burned my Free Melania shirt yesterday. And this person says, goody, you might get to do one last season of those effing Christmas decorations, or will that be Karen's job? And down here, well, this is a much different tone than the one we all heard on the audio tapes in reference to the children at the border. There were plenty more, and plenty using foul language in a very public forum to make their putrid points, of course. Disturbing, as it usually is, to get a glimpse at the heart of darkness that sustains American liberalism. The good news is that Melania has plenty of well-wishers, too. This person said, classy and beautiful inside and out. Thank you for leaving your life of luxury to support our president and we the people. First class FLOTUS. Oh, I believe that. We should get that trending. Hashtag first class FLOTUS. She is. And this person, thank you for the updates. I'm praying for your healing from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. May you and President Trump be quickly healed and restored to health better than before. God bless. And I think we can agree with that prayer. Love you so much, Melania. You have been a graceful constant in the White House. You and POTUS will make a great team. You and POTUS make a great team. Glad to hear you are doing well with COVID. But this one summed things up well. Our prayers continue for the health and well-being of you, your husband, your family, and all those charged with your care. I also pray for all the hateful people wishing you harm. May God have mercy on them as well. We all grow up. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than others. Melania Trump's Twitter post was no doubt welcome news to the millions of Americans who have been wondering about her condition. Like me, I was very relieved to see that tweet, as her husband has been understandably dominating the news coverage. As for decent people everywhere, regardless of political persuasions, it was gratifying to hear that she's apparently been spared a debilitating or deadly encounter with the coronavirus. But for liberals nursing and abiding irrational hatred for everything about the Trump presidency and every person connected with it, especially Melania, it was an opportunity to display once again exactly how heartless and petty, how morally rancid the American left has become. No one with eyes to see can deny that Melania Trump's a beautiful woman, and no one with the ability to read can deny how ugly her enemies and the enemies of her husband can really be. Any Americans who remain undecided about the presidential election should ask themselves whose side they really want to be on. That is an excellent article, and I am relieved to hear that Melania is well and recovering. So, I hope we didn't hear whether Barrett was okay and whether he had got the virus or not. Sure hope not. But anyway, Barron. Sorry, I don't know why I just called him Barrett. Barron. All right. Now I'm gonna have to start picking and choosing here. Time's probably getting short. Let me just check on everything over here. Yep. Looks like we're recording. Fine. I just all of a sudden got this fear that I was going to flip over and it was a shut off recording, and then I would have to scream really loudly. All right. Here, we didn't look at this, did we? All right. I just found this, and it's very interesting. So I'm just bringing it to you. Not by saying that, well, this means something, but it's interesting. 10 Days of Darkness has already arrived, and in October from 4 to 15 in 1582. So let's look at this. In 1582, 10 days, and this is the first time I've ever heard of this, and I really love history. But anyway, in 1582, 10 days, October 5th through October 14, were erased from time with the introduction of the Gregorian calendar. Isn't that interesting? I didn't know that. Maybe some of you did. Now, the continuing accumulation caused by the inaccuracies of the Julian calendar came to an end in 1582. Pope Gregory the 13th stated that 10 days in October were to be removed from the calendar. Specifically, he struck the 5th through 14th from the month, which created a very bizarre October 1582. You can imagine what people's schedules looked like during that month. Well, I'm sure. Did they keep schedules back then? I'm sure they did. Now, let's see what else is here. Now, this is just called latest intel, and I don't know, okay? I don't know. I am not saying this is right, this is true. I just thought it was interesting. We need 100% of people indoors to see what the U.S. military is going to broadcast on everyone's TV sets worldwide. It is going to be very painful, but we can no longer have people divided. Around Sunday, Monday, POTUS will tweet, "My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. We will go to full global martial law." He will most likely be on board Air Force One when he sends out 7 presidential messages to everyone's phones and TV sets worldwide on the emergency broadcast system. From there, all global militaries via U.S. military will shut down all media, internet, phones, and all TV programming. emergency services will still have theirs. So the U.S. military can broadcast 10 days of 3 times 8-hour sessions of video confessions, military tribunals, lots of evidence for the scandals listed in the Storm article. While this is happening, they will be removing governments worldwide and making global arrests. 500,000 indictments. Nasara will be activated, that is the reset, which will be a full rewiring of planet Earth. I don't know. I do have some issues with this, so I can't say that I fully agree that this is intel. First of all, it's the 5th today, and it's 10:25, so yeah. I would think that if it was going to happen, it would happen. But the 10 days of darkness are very fascinating indeed, if you ask me. Now, I'm not saying that to you to not believe it. I don't know. But I think that it's pretty iffy. We don't know where it came from. And we don't know where it came from. So there you go. All right. Now, let's go back because we are wrapping up now. I think I'm going to come down here, make sure that there's nothing. He's my cat's trying to catch a spider, so he knocked the spider off the wall, and now he's trying to find it. You know, it's games that cats play. I don't know, it keeps them occupied for hours. I just hope he kills it. Don't like spiders or snakes. Mostly snakes. All right. I like this. Kirstie Alley. The truth is, Dems have accomplished nothing in the last 3.5 years other than devising ways to take Trump down. You have been a waste of our taxpayer dollars, time, and faith. Even with all your attempts to destroy him, you failed. So far, he's still standing. I know that breaks your heart. Yeah, it probably does. And I don't know what this is, and I didn't make it into a link because, well, you know, wouldn't want it to be too easy. All right. Oh, yeah, this is very fascinating. Very fascinating. I don't think I'm going to play it, but Steve Scalise, 2009, Joe Biden and Hussein allocating stimulus money to districts in Louisiana that don't exist. Representative Scalise calls the White House to investigate. Listen to the response. All right, well, maybe we need to listen to it.
Money. So you think something got
happened here?
Joe? Well, I'm not really sure, but we did a little digging, and in fact our local newspaper did some digging as well, and they called the White House. And first of all, they said, okay, White House, you're claiming that you've got all this transparency. Joe Biden's hunting out for every dime that's out there. How is it that you can have jobs being shown that you're creating in districts that don't exist? And the first thing the White House said is, we're not certifying the accuracy of the information. So first in January, they were going to be the most transparent administration ever. Now, 10 months later, billions and billions of dollars of borrowed money is going out the door. Nobody knows what it was spent on. They claim to create jobs in districts that don't exist, and the best they can say is, we're not certifying the accuracy of the information.
But I thought nobody gets past Joe.
Well, we're going to get to that because I think we got some enlightenment we're going to shine on it. So then they actually followed up and they asked the White House. They said, well, how is it, if you're not certifying the accuracy, how is it, though, that somebody can show a district that doesn't exist on your website as creating jobs? And the White House spokesperson's answer was, who knows, man? Who really knows? That's his direct quote. That's the best the White House could come up with, as the American people are saying, where's the job? Where are the jobs? And what are y'all doing with all of this money?
Doesn't that sound like Joe Biden?
Who knows, man? Who really knows?
Who knows, man? Who really knows? But you're sending out money to districts that don't exist. Yeah, well, we don't certify that, you know, our information's accurate. That's what we would get. That's exactly what we would get as President Joe. All right, now let's come back here. We are wrapping up here real soon. This from Donald J. Trump, our president. I really appreciate all the fans and supporters outside of the hospital. The fact is, they really love our country and are seeing how we are making it greater than ever before. This by Donna M. Freeman. Nick Luna, Trump body man, like close valet assistant, married to Kushner's assistant, tested positive for COVID-19. Total is 27 White House staff. Was Pelosi's arrow in quiver to kill Trump and ACB at Rose Garden event? Has she been tested? Are Dems responsible? Who did it? Somebody did. You can guarantee that. We can guarantee that. All right, now, this by Cat Turd. Cat Turd says, well, if it isn't hypocrite, maskless Chris Wallace, who's been on TV for 2 days crying about President Trump not wearing a mask. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? And, oh yes, and, here we go with this. Notice the only one walking around in this public place without a mask on is extremely biased, elitist Chris Wallace. Yeah, it's always rules for thee, but not for me. So anyway, I think I'm going to end that there. I do have more. I do have lots more actually, but let's stop that there for tonight. And I will do my very, very best. Hopefully, now that I'm on antibiotics, I'll be rapidly getting better. So that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay well, and stay blessed, and keep seeking truth. Good night, guys.